Welcome to the Artists Loft, the talk show for all artists. Hosted by the Florida Arts Network with Richard Sosa and Frank A. Ruffalo.
Hey, how's everybody doing? My name is Richard Sosa.
Frank A. Ruffalo here.
Yep, and we are here, our very first podcast. We're really excited about this. This is the Artists Loft, and we are here to talk about all things art. Our first show, we wanted to introduce ourselves, talk a little bit about who we are, because this is being hosted by the Florida Arts Network, which is it's a Florida nonprofit to promote the arts. And so let's start with Frank. Talk a little bit about who you are, what you do, all your books and all that stuff. Yeah, all your good stuff.
Yeah, I'm a published author, internationally known published author and credited screenwriter. I have 12 books published. I have 6 more in process. Should be coming out yearly from now on. We're pushing 2 of my books for movies. My latest book, right here, is a brief memoir of how I became who I am today. It's available on Amazon. It's a memoir of the Soldier of Mary and the Archangels, how archangels have guided me and helped me in my quest to be an actor and writer. The Florida Arts Network organization is set up to promote the arts here in Florida. We want to work with the local schools, middle schools, high schools, and colleges to help underprivileged or regular kids get into art. As you know, the first thing that's cut from our schools when they lose money is the art programs. So we want to try to help our students with workshops, classes, scholarships, grants, and just help promote the arts in Florida and try to get the incentives back. Yes,
absolutely. I'm Richard Sosa. I'm an actor, writer, producer, president of the Florida Arts Network, and we're really excited about this. And as Frank was saying, our focus is the arts, because the schools, when they cut their budgets, one of the first things to go is art programs. And you've got so many talented kids that don't have a creative outlet. And so what do? This is what they're doing at home, right? Or they're hanging out in the basketball courts, or something like that. And that that doesn't always end well. And so we want to not only promote the arts in the schools and with kids and try and give them opportunities here in Florida, but we also want to promote the people that are already creating the art. So we have networking events. In fact, we have a networking event coming up July 30th at Wallaby Park. You can find information about that on our website, which is floridaartsnetwork.org. And we have a tab on there for fan events. That'll give you all the information, a map, all kinds of stuff like that. And then in October, we have an award show that is in the works. So there'll be more information about that, coming up soon.
Yeah, that will be at the Movies at Del Rey.
Yep. And just to kind of fill you in a little bit on who Florida Arts Network is and how all this started. This started back in 2010. A very good friend of mine, a woman by the name of Rose Warner, approached me and said, "Hey, why don't we do a networking group for film down here in Florida?" So it's like, okay, we talked about it, what we were going to do, and everything else. And I remember our first meeting, we had 8 people at our first meeting. And it grew over the years to the point where we packed like 120 people into the back room of a restaurant, which was crazy, especially in the summer. It got really hot in there, but it was a really exciting time. And then back in 2018, Rose Warner passed, and then COVID happened, and everything shut down. But when things started opening up again down here in Florida, everybody was contacting me. Hey, Rich, when are we gonna restart the Florida table? And so Frank and I got together and we talked about it, because Frank was like, you must have been at every meeting.
Every meeting.
Yeah.
I started probably 6 months after you. Yeah, I started in 2010. Maybe 6 or 7 months after you started.
And yeah.
Yeah, and that's Rose, the one that got me into screenwriting, and I'm screen credited with a movie she made. I was head writer. So, and yeah, we wanted to get networking done again and get out of the house. So.
Yeah, yeah. And so we renamed it Florida Arts Network, because before, when it was the Florida Table, we were more focused on film. And this time we wanted to include all of the arts, right? Because, I mean, you've got painting, sculpture, dance, voice, acting, all kinds of things. And you never know where somebody is going to be led as far as the arts go. And so we wanted to provide opportunities for all these different things for the kids. We're starting with high school, and then we'll work our way down. We understand that this is going to take a few years to do, because there's so much to do. But if you want to contact us about anything, you can contact us through our webpage. You can also send us an email at info@floridaartsnetwork.org. Or if you have any questions about the show, if you want to be a guest, sponsor, advertiser, you can contact us through again our website or the email, or you can call us at 954-662-4990. Why don't we talk a little bit about some of your books?
Yeah, we can talk about some of my books. Memoirs of Soldier of Mary sort of ties into my sci-fi series. I started writing my sci-fi series back in 2006. I have 3 books in the sci-fi series, faith-based sci-fi. Basically, it's turned into a prophetic type of thing, because a lot of things I write about in my books, when I wrote them, have now come to pass. Some now true. So I wrote about plagues happening back in 2006. I wrote about a plague that affects the air sacs in the lungs, where you can't transfer the air into the bloodstream. And then I wrote about a plague that said that it was a result of a side effect of a vaccine where people were dying. So if you can relate to what happened in the last year and a half, it sort of came true. I wrote about airships. I wrote about airships being used for commercial flight, and this past year, Spain and Japan have put in orders to put airships in their commercial flights. So, as people read my books, they sort of think I'm a modern-day Nostradamus, but
Yeah.
whatever. That's me. Gabriel's Chalice, Tres Archangelis, and Xantha Terra are the 3 in my sci-fi series. It takes you from the days leading up to Judgment Day to 1,300 years later. I talk about terraforming Mars and old civilizations on Mars. I talk about moon base, where we're mining oxygen, we're mining water on the moon. And I wrote that in 2006, and now NASA just came out and said there's enough moon locked in the dirt of Mars, there's enough water locked on the dirt on the surface of the moon to sustain 800,000 people. So
Yeah.
I have things.
But you don't just do that. You also do murder mysteries.
Murder mysteries, action
all that
book.
kind of thing.
Yeah, I write in three different genres: murder mystery, action, and faith-based science fiction. I'm pitching right now. It's sort of been delayed because of first it was delayed for the writer's strike. Now it's going to be delayed for the SAG strike. Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, they voted today to go on strike.
The Murder mystery I'm pitching is called Blue Falcon. It's about a president. I wrote this in 2015. It's about a scandalous president running a corrupt administration who's being impeached, and his lover is killing all the witnesses that are going to testify against him. So it's sort of prophetic. Don't know if that's going to happen, but it could.
Yeah, and then we have a script that we're trying to push that deals with human trafficking, and how it has infected not just your regular dirtbags, but it goes all the way up into higher levels of politics and court system and everything else.
Right,
Yeah.
and with the sudden release of this Sound of Freedom, which turned into a hit that nobody wanted to have released, that sort of, some people have said that gives you a false sense of security because it delves on human trafficking in South America. The screenplay that we wrote, that is based, I then wrote a novel on it called Stuck in Traffic, is based on human trafficking here in the United States. And human trafficking here in the United States happens to be the largest market for human trafficking in the world.
Yep, yeah, and a lot of it has to do with indentured servitude and organ harvesting, and that's the screenplay that we wrote. And then I'm also involved in another film about human trafficking called Sisters of Vengeance, and that kind of deals with well, vengeance. It's a revenge kind of thing. Somebody that gets out of that, escapes from it, and then is going back after the people that got her in there. Don't want to say too much about it because one of our future guests is going to be the director for that film and one of the producers. So
and
yeah.
we're hoping he brings one of the actors too.
Yes, he's yeah.
he's
I talked
trying
to him.
to.
He's planning on bringing somebody. So we plan on having quite a few guests from, oh gosh, every genre, dancers, singers, actors, all these.
Film commissioners.
Yes, yeah. Sandy Leiterman, who is the film commissioner for Broward County, has agreed to be our guest, I believe, for next week.
She wants, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but she wants either end of July or beginning of August, so it's either going to be the 27th or the 2 weeks later.
Yeah, yeah. So we have people that run film festivals that are going to be on guests on the show, and so this is why we said if you are in the arts, you want to be a guest on the show, contact us. You know, let us know. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to talk about some of the problems with that have to be dealt with when you're an artist, because we know it's not easy. It's really not easy. It's a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and we want to hear the stories about, you know, some of the things that you've had to overcome in the arts and that kind of thing.
Right, and not just entertainment part of the arts. I mean, we're also looking for regular artists, paint artists, sculptors, dancers, photographers,
Yeah.
anybody that is involved in that creative type of industry. We want to interview on our show. Writers. If you're an author, you have a book you're thinking about writing or want to write or are writing, we want you on our show. So here again, give us a call, contact us on our website, or give Richard a call on his phone. And I don't know his number, you're going to have to relay that number again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that number again is 954-662-4990.
yeah, we want you to call us. And we're also looking for sponsors. So if you want to sponsor a show, promote your business, give us a call.
Yeah, in fact, and I, neither one of us mentioned this before, but the Florida Arts Network is a 501c3. We are a nonprofit. So we are always looking for donations so that we can get some of these things done. We want some of the things that we want to teach too, aside from the singing and the dancing and all that other kind of stuff, is some of the stuff that happens in the background. Things like video editing, things like Photoshop. These are marketable skills that these kids can learn. So if there's something that you would like to do to help with that, we can always use the help. We're just getting off the ground now. We incorporated back in December, but it took a while before the IRS told us, okay, you guys are good to go. So so now we're trying to we want to hit the ground running. So if there's anything that anyone can do, anybody that wants to help in any way, we need volunteers. We need help with social media. I mean, look at us. What do we know about social media? All right? I mean, come on.
We still use Rolodex.
Yeah. He still uses Rolodex. I haven't seen a Rolodex in, gosh, 6 months. So, but yeah, and look, we recognize how important social media is to all of this stuff. So if anybody wants to intern, hey, you know what? We can use an intern, a social media intern. If anybody just wants to help, you don't want to. If you need a volunteer, no, what is it?
Community service.
Community service hours. Yes, thank you. If you need community service hours, let us know. Let us know how you can help. And we can give you the hours. You can help us. The whole idea is to get the arts out there. It's just I'm sorry. I get really frustrated because nobody gives respect to the arts, and the arts are so critical. I was very fortunate. I grew up in New York City, and I was exposed to the arts very early on. And so, yes, I have been to the ballet. I had been to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I have been to the Guggenheim. I'd been to Broadway shows. And how many people really get the opportunity to do that kind of thing? And I know that the arts are not as big down here in Florida as they are in New York. Right? The arts are huge in New York. Broadway, I mean, that's you think of Broadway, you think of New York, right? But if there's anything that we can do to help promote it here and to give these kids this creative outlet, give them some kind of direction, so that they're not hanging out in the basketball courts. I've seen what happens there. So yeah, this is what we want to do. Our thing is the kids. I've always had a heart for working with kids, and mostly as an acting teacher. That's pretty much what I've done. Acting, teaching acting, also private coaching, that kind of thing. And I love working with kids because they're so genuine. They're so real. I know that's redundant, but so yeah. So this is what we want to do. This is what we want to do. We want to help them. We want to give them some kind of direction in the arts. So yeah.
Yeah, and another thing we want to do is hopefully, as we grow and we get more established down here in Florida, we want to open up some sort where we can have a venue where these kids can come and perform their arts, where they can do a concert, they can create a short movie, they can learn how to be a gaffer, they can learn how to be a photographer, they can learn how to act on a set. This is what we want to do and help the kids. And if they want to take an instrument in school, they can't afford to get the instrument. We'll help them get the instrument.
Yeah, we want to be able to provide instruments. For
If they don't have the money to get headshots, we'll help them get headshots. We're looking for people that'll mentor them as well, mentor them in music, mentor them in modeling, mentor them in makeup. This is what we've established our 501c3 to do, to help promote the arts in the schools and get them to where they want to be.
Yeah, there's so many different directions that they can go in, and you know, like he was saying, modeling as well. That's an art form. I have sat in on classes and watched the training, and it's crazy. It really is. It's crazy. But any kind of training like that is crazy. I remember all the training that I did for acting. It's just I did theater for about 25 years, but then I started studying for film and TV, and I studied like another 7 or 8 years, part-time, of course, right? But studying different methods and things like character development and script analysis and improv, you know, all this kind of thing. I think people don't realize how much work goes into training an artist.
No, they have no clue.
No, they really don't. Writing. Oh my gosh, you know, I've taken creative writing classes and, you know, all this other stuff, you know, and it's...
Yeah, we want to help writers format. You know, if you have a story inside you and you need to write, we want to be able to mentor you along and teach you how to get that going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how do you format a screenplay, right? What's the difference between the format for a theater play and for TV or for film? It's different. It's different from all of them. We want to also be able to teach the business of the arts. Like, for example, film. When you're going to be doing a film, and because that's what I'm most familiar with is film. All the things that you have to do to try and get the money. You know, what do you need to include when you're putting a budget together? What do you need to include when you're putting a business plan together? What do you need to do when you're putting an executive summary together? You know, what are LOIs? What are NDAs? You know, all this kind of thing is important. And a lot of people focus on the actual art, but if they want to succeed, they need to know the business end of it as well. So that's another thing that we want to teach, and that's why we're looking for so many mentors, so many teachers, people that can help. So, like for example, if we were to put different videos together, right, for say video editing, right? They want to learn a particular software, right? They can, you know, we can put some videos together or work deals with people who already have videos like that, and then have somebody that they can come to, say, once a month, and here, check my work, you know, this kind of thing, and practically, I think that would probably be the best route, as opposed to trying to get somebody in every school in the state, you know, that because that wouldn't be efficient, and we want to be able to help as many people as we can.
Yeah, and as Richard has said, we want to teach the young students that they need to promote themselves as a business. They are entrepreneurs. If you're an artist, if you're an actor, if you're a director, if you're a photographer, mm-hmm. Yes, you have the skill and you're a mindset and you're an artist and you have the talent, but you have to learn how to promote yourself as a business, because you're promoting your business. Your acting is your business. Your photography is your business. Your music is your business. And a lot of kids coming up today, they just don't realize they're a business. They just think they're just going to, I don't know, it's not all sunshine and unicorns. They're going to have to get to work and work as a business.
It's not unicorns?
Not unicorns. Sorry.
Oh man, see,
They missed the boat.
See, that's my adulthood has just been destroyed. But yeah, the business of art is very important. So probably why they call it show business.
Yes.
You know, because okay, so you get people that like, you know, they start taking pictures, and then what do they do with the pictures? Okay, look at the future of art, where it's going. NFTs, Web3, all this stuff. I was at
ChatGPT.
Yeah, ChatGPT. I know that stuff is crazy. I was at a convention and I saw this demonstration where they had these musical artists. They did this concert, and they videoed it in 3D, so you can just put on your Oculus and you can log in, watch their show, and somebody else is creating artificial intelligence so that the people that are doing the concert can interact with anybody that comes into their concert. No, it's crazy. We have so much that we want to cover. So I guess
we've covered it.
Yeah, we've covered it. So join us next week. No, not next week. 2 weeks for our first guest, and then 5:30 Thursday.
Yep.
See you there.
I'm going to let you know who it is.
Thank you for watching the Artists Loft. Make sure to tune in next time for another great show. A show that was produced by Ant Media Productions and hosted by the Florida Arts Network. With your hosts Richard Sosa and Frank A. Ruffalo.